Testing. Good morning out there, world. Happy Monday to you all across the globe from the View and Make It TV YouTube channel platform. We're happy that you have chosen to come back and tune in with us here for another inspirational and insightful live topic. So we'll give it the chat some time for people to come in, and then we'll start it up. All right. I hope everybody can hear me okay and everything. I had to get my mic checked right first, then make sure I had my coffee ready. Y'all know how I do before the live streams. But good morning to you all. Why not start an early morning stream topic about another real? Cause you know what? When I first saw news circulating, I knew people weren't telling it right, but people were panicking, talking about that the governor of California was passing some kind of bill where people could, some about strangers could adopt your kids. You guys have it all wrong. That's why I'm here to re-clarify this. With all the confusion we have going on in the world already, we don't need just confusion about the things that. Come on now. Why would the governor pass a bill like that? You got to make sure that you're reading the news right. But it is a bill to help to protect children if their parents are happen to be deported. And that's even new updated knowledge for me. But I'm glad I didn't just take the word of people. I just thought it was strange. I'm like, what? I had heard the news a little while back, whatever little rumor they had started about it, but I was like, this can't be real. Anyways, so it isn't real. Anywhere you hear that news, that is not true. The purpose of the bill, they say, was to, cause just imagine, cause they were complaining at first of people's kids being pulled out of school and daycare facilities. They said ICE was coming to places like that, and I guess this more I guess let me try to not run around circles with the topic. If your parent gets deported and you were born over here, they are saying that that bill protects the child for custody rights for somebody else they might know, a neighbor, a friend, or a family member, so they can be able to stay in the states while said family members get their business straightened out, said custody holders, right? Because you being legal or illegal does not dictate whether you're a parent or not. It's so deep. It's not even it's just crazy. And people have been still crying out about that, just being whole separated from their families out the blue like that. Now, some people, they might be a little insensitive about it. I just say I'm in the middle because I don't see, I never advocated for that. I've never thought that was okay, actually. Me personally, I don't think separating families is okay. Um, but this is one governor I'm hearing at least implement it, because I mention that a lot right here on my channel when it comes to like my opinions about things. But I feel like when you roll out new, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Mandates and laws just like this right here with the ICE arrests and stuff recently, you also need stipulations that kind of work for the people. And I'm not saying what Governor Newsom is perfect, or what he's doing is, it's a lot better than what other states are talking about. I mean, at least you are offering the opportunity, like the kids are whole protected. And that's right. They shouldn't have to pay penalties or be going through extra stuff just because their parents or guardians are being deported. Because I had never stopped to really, really, really just deeply think about it. There's so many issues going on at the same time in the country, to like try to deliberate on each and every one of them at the same time. You know, you could be aware, but to really just stop and think what people might have been going through, having their families torn apart, and then having to communicate again with people you've already bonded with, got close with, communicate with them from overseas now because they're deported. You know, how do kids understand that? But people be like, well, they put their kids in that situation when they came over here illegal. You know, I just don't know how to feel insensitive about it. That's where I probably am a weak link a little bit. Like, come on now, man, you separating families. They gotta be something more. And maybe they will, because the last update I saw is that they just gonna be charging for visas moving forward. What do y'all think about that? Do you think they'll really just, I think Trump's pretty serious about this. He's talking about like charging in the future for people to, what, like, because I guess that's fair. All countries might just follow suit and say the same thing. You want a visa, you want to be legal living over here, you might have to start paying. Looking at the future a little bit, doing my own version of predicting the way, but it was good to know that, because first, the way people was just like talking about it, they were making it like, oh my God, the governor lost his mind. He's passed a bill saying strangers can adopt people kids. No, they're saying that relatives and close friends or other people the kids might know might be able to retain some type of temporary custody order. Because do people think about that? Somebody would still have to take care of the kids. I think that more alleviates them just having to go through something even more traumatic, like through a foster system or to some orphan home just because, or to some camp, right? Just because their parents are deported. So I personally see the good. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I do see the good in it, because just imagine the trauma already, being separated from your guardian because they're being deported, right? And you're a minor. Okay, to me, I didn't say that I might be the number one right person, but to me, I feel like this is a better option, at least to lay it out to the people. Like, look, now, even if you get deported, the kids can still be with a trusted relative that you might still have in the States. And they're saying they're making it legal for those people, if it's a relative, once again, a close neighbor, a close friend who wants to take, uh, leadership and maybe step up for the child while the parent goes back to their country, I guess, get their papers and stuff straightened out. It really is unfortunate either way you look at it. But that's just an example of what I was talking about. Like, do we have preventative people, services, resources that meet the people too in the midst of these changes happening? To me, that is so important. It's not like you're just talking about a bridge over water here. Families are being separated and stuff. So I just feel like certain circumstances do deserve those preventative. Uh, as a matter of fact, that's what they're calling that new bill. I think it's called the Family Preparedness. What is it? I'm trying to remember the acronyms here. I know it's FPPA, but I think it's Family Preparedness. I was glad to see that word because that's what we're more talking about too. If you swiftly just change laws and then get mad at the people because they don't quickly adjust to it, I don't understand that. Have some stipulations and stuff in between that help people transition into these new changes in the country. So I think that shows a good stance of leadership a little bit on his behalf, just saying, yeah, well, why not let the kids have a say so? Like if they might have other family or friends or somebody they can go stay with, and it prevents them from having to be, they can still get education in the States and still live here in the States and maybe have rights to a healthy life here in the States, even if their parents get deported. I don't see what's wrong with that. Now, of course, with every good change you make, there can be people that come in there and demonize it, abuse the change. Maybe that's what people were voicing as far as their concerns about that new bill. Because they saying, like, what do you mean? I guess it would be proper to properly identify the people who come forward saying, yes, I want to be one of those people, family members, friends, close relative, neighbor who wants to take the kids in. Of course, people will have a concern about that. Like, how are they going to be verifying that these people are a family like they say they are a family to the kids of who have parents who are being deported? That's my only concern about that. Like, yeah, you're saying that these other relatives can adopt the child, but I would hope they do that part too. Like, just still make sure you're doing the identity verification, background check verifications, all of that. It shouldn't just be people running up in line to take somebody's child just because their parent being deported. Maybe that's what people mean by that. So he has fans of the new bill, and some people absolutely disagree with it. I guess they're saying if their parent is deported, they should just be too. But that's not really human. I actually understand the bill, the new act he's trying to enforce. It's just saying the option is there. That's better than them just having to go transition straight into the system, straight into an orphanage or a foster home, when you have family and other people that might just want to help raise the kid, right? You're going through enough. Your family's being deported. It's kind of like a blessing in disguise, if you want to put it like that, because right, it's just still hard to think about that it's kids out there literally enduring this every day since this has started, right? They don't know what's going on. They just know all of a sudden mom or dad is being deported again, and then now laws are changing saying that others can step in and adopt you once this process, if it so happens, to your guardians. I said, well, let me get up this morning and give my reaction and commentary to that. Since I read that, I'm like, did people even read this? It's not just giving people free will to adopt the kids that are being deported. I hope it's a more stricter process, like the people who do apply to step up for guardianship of these kids. Like, are they still going to have to verify their identity? Because then I do see what people saying. Anybody could get the kid and just say that they're family. I don't like the thought of that, just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, it does get more stricter in that way. But I wanted to mention this about the state of California too. Like, a lot of people might not know. Um, ooh, where's my coffee creamer? Cause I need it. Hold on, y'all. Like, it's even since the pandemic, it was news circulating in the media about how a lot of like the system centers and homes and places like that they would normally have for the kids. Now this might have been going on like before the pandemic, but I know for sure they was talking about that, like how some of their facilities and centers were actually full, very full, and some kids, it's just crazy. They were saying how it's like hard to kind of transition, like once they get to teen age, try to transition them out of those foster systems as it is. It's already been like that in the state of California. But if you're gonna speak on what Governor Newsom is doing, you must know that too. You don't just step in and talk about, well, I don't think people should adopt the deported kids. Do you know what they were going through as a crisis with the youth in California already? Or did you just think the drug crisis out there they were talking about is just with the adults? Now we got to make this make sense. If you were already keeping up with some of the news and what their system had been going through a little bit, they're just trying to help the youth through all of these new transitions and changes in the country as well. They've been going through that in the state of California. I thought it was unfortunate the first time I had read a news story about that. I said, what? I didn't know they was going through that. Like literally having to open up kind of like substitute centers and stuff just to have room, just to have enough space, if you will, to house a lot of these kids. Another thing I noticed a lot of these like quote unquote rings that have been getting busted lately, right? They might always report that, oh, we found youth living there. And some of these places was churches. But it shows that it must be true. Like people been struggling, or they say that, oh, we've been struggling to house the foster kids or the like kids in the system. I'm sure California is not the only state going through that, but they are one of the states that have been vocal about it, and not just in recent news. I literally saw them talking about that during the pandemic. Because imagine trying to help people survive a pandemic, but at the same time, you still had the homelessness youth numbers to focus on as well. Yes, there were very well still minors walking around here homeless, even during the pandemic. That's what the state of California has been talking about. Well, they go through it there for sure. Oh, why? Sorry, y'all. I showed my nappy hair for a second. I wasn't even trying to do that. Hold on. I keep doing it. I'm trying to get my. There we. Why does it keep? All right. I'm gonna just have to work with this like this. Oh my God. Sorry, y'all. I wasn't meaning for y'all to see my early morning bed hair like that on the live, but still, it's the message that counts. But in serious, back to serious matters though, it is pretty serious how they had been having kind of like a crisis with like trying to house, or what do you call it, like foster out the kids. They were just coming through the system a little more rapidly. Once again, why am I mentioning this? This was already happening before the deportations and stuff started. Pretty much, these are facts. With just like the regular American kids in the system, but there were probably other all kind of kids. But now that they're like quote unquote deporting people too, people never stop to think like, oh, okay, well, where are the kids gonna go? When their parents are deported. Some of these families, on average, might have two, three, four children in a household. Like just because they were illegal immigrant didn't mean these people didn't have families over here. That's where my heart has been a little soft about it though. And it's still unfortunate, like how even if it's just a small group of people, because just because you might have had some illegal immigrants here and there causing crimes and havoc, and that doesn't mean they all illegal immigrants were into that type of activity. I'm aware of that as well. But I don't know if people feel like, I don't know how they expect people to feel about it, but just like they're feeling the pressure with the deportation, Americans, legal citizen Americans, are also feeling the pressure with benefit cuts and job losses and other things that come with just being American right now. I think people just look at it like, oh, well, the Americans are lucky, or the ones that get to stay in America are lucky. No, sweetie, even as they travel back to their countries, America still has a lot of changes that it's working on for itself. Like our ain't nothing for us easier over here. If anything, like I said though, I don't believe that every illegal immigrant was just out here doing crazy stuff. Some of them were really here looking forward to promising lives. I don't think they were all involved in illegal activities, so it's really unfortunate that you could just be. I think if I was in those shoes, I would have just went ahead and tried to leave before they busting in trying to make me go home, and then it becomes tougher for them because it's like now in the near future, Trump was saying he might want people to pay for these visas. And I didn't even look up how much. I need to look this up real quick. I forgot how much he was talking about charging for the new visas. I really want to look this up real quick. I'm looking for my other device because I'm gonna look it up before I get off the stream. I forgot how much, but how much he said it might be. I don't think people are gonna be able to just like afford that just to, because they said it was a wait list at first, like I guess a wait list where people would do the applications to gain what citizenship or residency or whatever. uh it was like a wait list of people that had already applied, and I think the news reported that they just kind of shut. That's why people were angry. They ended up just shutting the list down. All the people that was on the wait list to y'all excuse that, all the people that was on the wait list to try to even get citizenship, they had just shut down the whole like system. I guess they just started denying applications and sending people home. It's just so much in between. I don't think people know when it comes to what people have been experiencing with these deportations as well. I'm still trying to Google this real quick. I'm very interested to know. 1 second, y'all. I'm hooking my connection back up real quick so I can look this up. Yep, I gotta ask Google something. Let's see. Hey Google, how much is it going to cost for new visas? No, I don't think it understands my question. Hold on. Hey Google, how much are the new citizenship visas in the US going to cost? I'm waiting on it to give me an answer here, because I have to see what this said. It's like Google don't understand my question. Hey Google, how much are new American citizen visas going to cost? Come on, man. I'm still trying to. I turned off the chat feature, so even if y'all found the answer for me, I can't read it in the chat because I turned off the chat, but I'm still going to try to find out the answer. Hey Google, how much will new US visas cost? Because why is it not understanding my question? Like, recent legislation has introduced several new fees. And I'm reading this verbatim from Google. Okay? I'm already reading something called a visa integrity fee, and that's $250. And I don't know if that even has anything to do with the application or anything, but it says recent legislation has introduced several new fees and increased existing ones for various U.S. visas. Many of these changes went into effect in late 2025. Here's a summary of the new costs. I know people probably didn't know that, but that totally went into effect. I knew I saw them talking about that on the news. Okay, I gotta see something because I thought it says a new $250 visa integrity fee now applies to most foreign nationals applying for non immigrant visas, including those for tourism, business, and study. But that's not really the answer I was looking for either. I thought it was a direct amount. They said they were going to start charging for a visa in America. And it's just like, I cannot finish this stream without looking this up. What? For new H-1B petitions, 100,000 surcharge applies. These fees are charged separately from other potential fees like the I-94 fee, and information on paying them can be found on the official U.S. Department of State websites. I think I'm getting closer to the answer I was looking for. Because I saw that number before 100,000. I said, is this? Okay, so it's different visa types. I'm trying to see something. Will the U.S. tourist visa price increase in 2026? It just keeps talking about a 250 visa integrity fee for sure. It says will soon apply to most U.S. visitors. That's not even your travel and the money you're spending when you get there to tour yet. That's just. And what? How often do they expect people to pay this? Like, let's see. Visiting the U.S. will soon. This the one I was looking for. It's for H-1B visa. This the one I want to read about. Cause see, people gotta understand it's not like just deportations happening. It's other stuff happening at the same time, like whole other changes. Uh, whole other changes happening. So let's talk about what I mean. See, it's not just like, oh, you're being illegal. I mean, you're being deported for illegal citizenship. At the same time, you have things changing in the U.S. administration, certain fees that are going to apply in the future if a person do want to travel here. And that's just for tourists. You're not going to be able to get around it. This is a price every tourist is going to have to pay. Okay, we're not even talking about the H-1B visas yet. This is just I think they said for the travelers that just want to come visit here, it will be $250 instant visa integrity fee, and we all know what integrity means. I think that integrity fee, if that's real, what they talking about, that should be higher than $250. And I'm gonna say why I feel that way. All the different crazy tourism stories we've heard lately, like, to be honest, look at how many people we've heard died on boat trips lately. It's just weird. Like whole celebrities that probably go sailing and boating all the time. Suddenly they're caught up in storms and all this crazy stuff, and it's just weird. I feel like the $250 visa integrity fee, it might be 250 right now. I feel like that's going to end up increasing gradually if people find investing in American tourism, which I pretty much feel like they will continue to. Um, but $250 is not enough for the type of stuff that people come over here and do freely. For the type of stuff that people go to other countries just being on tourism. You know, it's almost like calling people a liability at this point. You're like, yep, y'all gotta for sure pay a 250 integrity fee. Like, what are you promising to be full of integrity while you visit? What's the purpose? But at the same time, I can't lie. It seems like it's some idea is better than none. How else do you get more control of just like who's coming in and going out all the time? I mean, they had to do something. But now I'm looking into this H-1B visa, right? Because this the one I think I was hearing. I said $100,000 fee. Because who's going to pay that for a visa? But some people, maybe they will. So let's dive in. This article I'm reading from is by the American Immigration Council. I'm finna read from this in 1 second. Hold on, y'all. Okay. I'm finna read from this a little bit. It says Mr. DJT announced that his administration will impose 100,000 fee new H-1B visa petitions. Wow. The new fee went into effect as of September 21st. Sorry, I had to take a pause break. 2025, and will greatly impact employers' ability to secure the highly educated foreign workers who come to the United States on H-1B visas. I'm reading it out loud, but you guys should read it on your own. Of course, it only helps us to be knowledgeable of these new bills and laws and stuff that are paid, but employers will now be required to pay a one-time $100,000 fee per new petition. Previously, it cost employers between $2,000 and $5,000 per petition. So that's a big increase right there from what I'm reading, but depending on the size of the employer. The HB visa category allows employers to petition for highly educated, listen to the key words here, guys. Because, see, I could be highly educated in my country, but that would mean I'm highly educated in another country, right? Like what I'm trying to say is if a person is just highly educated, that doesn't change just because you change your geographic territory. Whatever you've mastered in or graduated in or passed the test, get your license, certification, whatever kind of education it is. Now, the laws may vary as far as what you can practice and where you got your licensing, but most educational type skills, just straight up education, they can take those same skills to foreign professionals. It says to temporarily work in specialty occupations. These jobs require at least a bachelor's degree. See what I mean? See what I mean? It's just like what I was just saying. Right. But once again, specialized, trained, educated, right? No matter where you gain that, you would still be expertise in that no matter where you go. That's all I'm saying. But there are certain pretty much qualifications you have to meet when it comes to any country and their visa petitions. I'm sure it's just qualifications you have to meet. If you're gonna come for work, because they do have those, it's called work visa. If you are interested in the work visa, there are simply just qualifications. That's why it's like, what? You don't want to be going through nothing with your own. You need your identity to handle that kind of business. Even if you decide, hey, I want to be a foreign worker, I want to be a foreign student, right? Things that actually have to do with building your life. That's a personal decision that people make. That's all. Not everybody just like, oh, travel the world just to do it. It is great to remember that some people are only where they are because they work in a geographical territory, or they train or get educated somewhere in that area or field closer to where they get. I mean, most people would do that, but it's very rare you're just going to find your career in the area that you want to choose. Like, it doesn't always happen that convenient for everybody. And that proves it, because, like, whole work and, like, education, school, and work visas are very real. And it just makes you think about it all over again when we talk deportation or immigrant topics. Because just like you could look at somebody like that here in America, you could very well go to a foreign place and be looked at as a foreigner. You see what I'm saying? So I always try to carry myself just like I would anywhere for the most part. Because that's crazy. You know, there's just a bigger world than any of us out here at any given time. Where you might be in a different area. And it's like, who are you? Who are you then? Um, allow. Okay, so if it allows employers to petition for highly educated foreign professionals to temporarily work in specialty occupations in quotation marks. These jobs require at least a bachelor's degree. That's where I left off. On the equivalent and include positions like civil engineers, software developers, and researchers. Typically, the initial duration of a H-1B visa classification is 3 years, but may be extended up to 6. It's just, if you don't see this knowledge is golden, even if you never ever in life apply for one, but you can't understand what people are going through right now, because like I said, once again, these applications are processed just like they probably get thousands of those applications per day. In other countries too. I don't think people always just get like approved the first time just because they apply for a visa. I don't believe that. Maybe a lot of people, before all of this deportation and stuff was going on, a lot of people were already probably being denied sometimes. They might have to apply 2, 3 times, because it depends, I guess, on how bad they may need or want. Before this period is what we're talking about, because it always was. People could always come over here and work and make a living and change their life pretty much when they come to America. Some come here, go back home. Some come here, never go back home. I mean, uh, you hate it or you love it sometimes. It's crazy. But work and school visas are real. So there's just so many different levels of work and education, though. And look how only if you have a certain level or qualification of education, your application is just telling you to save your time. Like, you're probably not going to get approved if you don't meet the because it's not just about, okay, you applying or wanting to apply. That's the first step. Then they're gonna screen every application. If you don't qualify of any of their guidelines or requirements, that's just what it is. You're not gonna probably qualify for a visa. But it's saying at least the tourists, they still gonna be able to come or whatever. So this just interesting to look at anyway. Yeah, like the tourists, they're just gonna have to pay that uh, integrity fee that it was referring to, a $250 integrity fee every time you're trying to travel. People might as well get used to it. Once again, that's not even like your travel fee yet, probably your accommodations, nothing. Just like if you want to travel across and be traveling foreign places like that, yeah, they're gonna be taxing their fees now, I guess. It's a new day, ladies and gentlemen. And with that integrity fee, I think it's actually more countries jumping on the bandwagon with that. Yes, the world is a free place, but as we know, things are set up in different geographical territories and landscapes, and everything is just all district. Everything is modern today, you know. Tourism is probably always great, but you know, it is a better time for people to be careful anyway. Or if you know that you are the type of person that likes to do that long term, why not try to apply, you know, for a work visa or a school visa somewhere else? You travel all the time, you might as well go there, work, apply for a visa and be in the country legally. That's what any country would say. If you're gonna frequent there that much, let me say that as a better word. If you know you frequent back and forth, you know you don't even do it for work, because some people just do it for leisure, like they like to travel. They actually like to travel. They might go, some people might go just twice a year, once a year. It depends on how people's finances are set up, but finances would be the next part of the topic. And travel have always cost. cost, like it's it's not free. You're a blessed person, you just get it. And not just travel, like depending on what kind of travel it is, you're a blessed person if you get an assistance with that. I don't care who it is, because travel is costly, especially these days. Just because a person don't take one form of transportation don't mean it ain't other form of transportation out there, like the train, the bus, the airplane, ships. It's so many different forms of transportation, bro. People will see you without one form, and it's like, okay. And they all are going to end up costing something. The Greyhound, the subway bus, everything out there, Uber, Lyft, all of it costs money. So you know to travel to somewhere foreign might cost you some money. And plane tickets are not cheap. But even if you weren't talking travel, I'm just trying to keep the topic kind of like relatable for everybody, right? But even if you couldn't travel like that, right? Why do people have to go as far as like, oh, my life went way better? It's a lot of like just pretty much well-off families today. I was gonna name a certain person, but they just like maybe they families navigated here from another country and they just built lives. That is real. Like, why do some people have to travel? Why they couldn't do it where they were? Anybody. Just like the actual city, spot, territory that you grew up in. And everybody just sprout there. But it doesn't happen like that for everybody. Where they just sprout right where they was planted. It probably doesn't happen there for everybody. Like, why is it like that? Some people have to whole travel across the world. Then they got a story. Their life was better. Like, they end up building things that they wouldn't even. And people have been had stories like that. That's a personal choice. Or like I said, some people end up having to do that because of their jobs. Whatever their job entails. So I said that makes sense though. You could just get a work visa. The job should be able to help you get that, right? They want to hire you, but it is interesting. Like, let's say you have a remote job. The remote job could still be kind of like, you got to be careful with all it. You just got to be careful with all it. Because I don't think you can totally work in the States and work a foreign job. I just encourage people to be careful with that, though. You know what I mean? That's their business. I ain't gonna even try to coach people advice on that part. Because you very well can be also employed in another state where the company is in another state, but you reside in another state. It's just a certain way you're supposed to be like probably filing your taxes and just reporting certain stuff. Just file them. Make sure you file them in every state. That's all. If you know you live in one area but you work in another, you are supposed to report it like that. Those are technically the facts. You're supposed to report it like that. They're not worried about all that. It's when you start trying to hide, like, okay, if you work in this state, you live over there, that's actually not even illegal, but are you reporting it like that? That's when it's become an issue. Are you reporting it like, yeah, I had W-2s here. I had W-2s all these places. They do not care about that. They actually want you to report that. What do you mean? I just think that's probably where a lot of people have hangups too, when they end up in hangups with the IRS, because all of that do matter. Kind of reporting your own income and finances pretty much properly. That's why they do be having preparers and accountants and all kind of different people out here. Some people do it for free. They just do financial knowledge classes and stuff these days. They're even teaching people about Bitcoin and digital currency and stuff, which I should actually, a long time ago, probably been learning more about it. I'm definitely familiar about along the lines about what it is, but just like get more knowledgeable about it, because those times could be coming sooner than we think actually. But people were spreading that news wrong. I noticed they were saying that, oh, he passed a bill saying that strangers can just adopt anybody's kids. No, I actually went and read it. That's not what they're saying. They're saying, and people should be sensitive with these topics right now, really. Because people be kind of like pulled from and separated from their family sometimes in these situations. Why do you think I'm going over more of awareness about what I guess legal visas would look like? Not just when you travel to America, but when you go anywhere. It's literally saying it's a whole lot about that changing. They're adding a $250, uh, what is it called? Integrity fee. When did it say that's starting? That's starting soon, actually. It's gonna start soon. Uh, every time people travel, they're gonna have to pay. That's just off top. That ain't your airplane ticket, your gas, nothing yet. Your airplane travel. I think what they're doing is raising the value. You notice maybe everybody got used to all of the convenience. Everybody got very accustomed and comfortable with all of the convenience. But maybe whatever's happening now, the value on the convenience is about to. That's all that's really happening too. Maybe that's a better way to look at it. It's not that the convenience is disappearing necessarily, but it is like one of those things. Because if you already have people kind of hooked on and addicted to the convenience, it won't be hard to raise the value and make the money off the convenience. Uh, if you wanted to up the value on something as precious as convenientness. Because do people know how we had it all the time? Others, they're just blaming it on people abusing the system. I say that's only probably a part of the problem though. Because look, every little people have to be educated about that. Why are you just out here traveling? Do you know Another star just actually got arrested somewhere, traveling to a foreign place, literally. Because they don't be knowing the regulations and stuff there. And stuff, you know. And it's really, really more serious than what I'm talking about. They trying to, it was just kind of alleged. They was trying to already talk about the death penalty. I'm like, what? They don't care if you're a star, none of it in another country. If you come over there breaking their law, or I don't know if that story is supposed to be like an example, but yeah, it's like really happening to a person. They are a celebrity, and they got caught up at an airport. You just see that in the news more. They get caught up at the airport or just riding in the car. Uh, they supposedly have this and that on them. This and that. Back to what I was saying about the knowledge for real. Not saying that I know everything. I know. There's a quote that said, "A wise man knows." Not too many understand this quote now. This one of the old quotes I agree with. The quote says, the quote says, "A wise man knows that he knows nothing at all." That's one of my favorite quotes of the world. It's not even in the Bible. It's just one of those quotes somebody probably said from like being a wise person during their lifetime. That's what they learned. It's such a humble answer too. Like only a wise person would say something like that because it's true. Uh, a wise person knows that they know nothing at all. Wow. What y'all think about that? It's like people love sharing that quote. Do they really understand what it means, bro? Let's say the quote again. We gotta go look up. Let me look up who said that quote real quick. That's a powerful quote. I gotta look this up. Who said this? Gandhi? Who said this? I had to look up who said this quote. It was a Greek philosopher. That's a powerful quote. He said, "A wise man, he knows that he knows nothing at all." Like, come on, bro. Mm-mm-mm. That's the quote of the morning, y'all. To start y'all beautiful October 20th, new, brand new week. I know people don't want to hold on to quotes, but they have truly helped some of us get through like maybe some dark nights. Like I said, it's a humble quote, but it's like, whoa, do people understand? Yeah, it says it's a Greek philosopher by the name of Socrates. It signifies that true wisdom is found in recognizing the limits of one's own knowledge and embracing a state of continuous learning. This perspective encourages humility. Didn't I just say that? I said that's a very humble. That quote, only a person that's truly experienced life could like come up with that quote. Like, a wise man knows he knows nothing at all. He knows this. That's crazy. It says a wise man knows. He knows this. That he knows nothing at all. People be having it all backwards because that quote is true. It says his name is Socrates. Socrates. Because acknowledging ignorance is the first step to acquiring new understanding. And I don't think they mean acknowledging ignorance with everybody else either. Like when a person gets to a level where they acknowledge their own ignorance, you might not like how they do it. But if it can't be denied and a person is on their level, like they literally, what did he say right here? Yeah, they acknowledge their own ignorance. Like, what can you do with a person like that? Does anybody want to speak? Don't all raise your hands at once. Now, but I'm just saying, we talk healing topics over here. And examples where we can heal. And maybe even the benefits of healing. I think people just look for tangible results of healing. That's crazy. When one gets to a level, like money can't buy that, when one gets to a level where they acknowledge their own ignorance, that is, what can you do with that person? That's not just something you can like pretend. Because most people, there's something about themselves they would want to hide. Like, oh, I was ignorant right here. I was ignorant right there. I was ignorant up there. I was ignorant down there. I was ignorant in front of me. I was ignorant behind me. I'm going to start sounding like David in Psalms really soon. Because you actually understand some of these quotes. Like, yes, ignorance. Don't they have a quote like, ignorance is a bliss? There's so many different quotes about ignorance as well. And I don't know what made me think of that quote out of nowhere. About, because we were talking about the visas. So ignorance, it has to go out the window now because you can't have like new bill and law changes that are that big and people are not. Because you want to wait till you try to travel and you're being charged a extra. You like, oh, I thought the bill was this much at the checkout, but it actually is gonna have a it's gonna extra have an extra $250 fee. That's what it said. Just to for tourism type of travels. It's several countries moving in that direction with it, but H-1B workers are often in the math, engineering, technology, medical science, software engineers, doctors, architects, and financial analysts. The majority, however, have computer-related jobs as of 2023 data. Over 70%, wow. Oh, okay. Over 70% of H-1B visa holders are, drumroll please, because I don't know why I'm scrolling across this information, Indian citizens. Though the move could lead to issues for U.S. businesses with Indian ties, the impact extends beyond the financial. Okay, I'm not stating that the measure would likely have humanitarian consequences by way of the disruption caused for families The statement went on to say that the Indian government hoped that these disruptions can be addressed suitably by the U.S. authorities. In the immediate aftermath of the fee announcement, families were left behind as H-1B visa holders scrambled to reach the U.S. before the fee went into effect. Because I think I did read about that in the news. Like where they had just shut down the whole whatever app or wherever they would do the applications. If they was on the list, it just I think it either shut down or all the applications got denied. One of the two. And the immediate aftermath, fearing they would be locked out of the country. Though the White House later clarified that the fee would not apply to existing visa holders. Confusion had already gripped visa holders, their families, and the companies that employ them. This is crazy news. Some have canceled their plans to return to their home countries, believing that even vacation is too risky right now. And see, what? Who are they talking about? Okay, so it said this does not apply to existing visa holders. Confusion had already gripped visa holders. Okay. So even visa holders were kind of just on guard. They didn't know, because if you just coming in like splitting up people's families, I agree. While they were probably on guard, even if they had their visas. Alright. Some water. Some of the largest tech companies and top banks in the U.S. will be hit particularly hard by the change. Amazon was the biggest sponsor of H-1B workers for fiscal year 2025, employing over 10,000 people with the visa, followed by other household names like Microsoft, Meta, Apple, Google, JP Morgan Chase, and Walmart. Economists are already sounding the alarm that the astronomical fee will likely hurt the U.S. economy, resulting in a brain drain of qualified workers moving to other countries and slower economic growth overall. Yeah, because $100,000 is a lot, but I would say it's worth it, I guess, if you just, at least it helps them better to document, pretty much document like who's here working, because here in the U.S. they do like census counts and stuff like that. Like they do try to pretty much keep up with the households and like, I ain't gonna say the households, but yeah, in a way, it's called a census. How can you keep that the same if things are not done properly? You know what I'm saying? To document them to begin with. So, but I guess any one of us could say today $100,000 is a lot of money for a H-1B visa, which you would need to come over here and legally, if you know you plan to legally come to America and work and make some moolah and actually even stay around for a while. This is what they're saying. And we don't know what like what they might end up resorting to, like whole other countries. They might end up with a fee too for people to travel there. Maybe that's their point. People need to just sit down in their home countries. Maybe that's their point. People need to stop traveling so much. Maybe everything is becoming more industrialized. They want people to be stationed for a while, or maybe people need to be. Who knows? During the pandemic, people did it with no problem. They were willing to pretty much sit down more, like travel less. And it was really crazy to see people get through that. They came up with all kind of creative ways to entertain themselves because people weren't used to just like sitting still on some kind of shutdown, right? They feel like, no, no, we need to be able to just go, 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 travel, travel, travel. Look what they're showing us now. They're going to be charging $100,000 for this H-1B visa for you to come over here and work. Once again, maybe they should make payment plans or something too. Like at least make it possible for people to obtain $100,000 is a lot of money. But see, that's putting yourself, that's setting yourself right back up for debt if you just indebt yourself to any country like that. Like, oh yeah, I don't have $100,000 up front, but I'm gonna pay y'all out. Cause I mean, what happens if if a person fall on hard times? They're not able to pay off the visa debt. So that's probably not even legal though. I wouldn't know. For them to maybe accept, because this is new, so you wouldn't know. Like this is brand new. Nobody's ever. I just read it. Usually they used to cost people anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. That's what the article said. It costs you. That's all it costs. It's going from that. This is very serious news. I mean, I guess it's worth it for those people. Like maybe if they let them pay it off to come over here and work, if they let them pay it off, maybe that can replace like them having a credit system to abide by, or because like that's a lot of like. Does it want it? Do they want it up front? No, they do not take jobs from U.S. workers, but an employer can file a petition. They must take specific steps to ensure that hiring a H-1B worker will not harm U.S. workers. See, they just go through a lot to even hire you from. Employers must first attest on a labor condition application certified by the Department of Labor that employment of the foreign worker will not adversely affect the wages and working conditions of similarly employed U.S. workers. They also must provide existing workers with notice that they plan to hire. Look at all this they go through. Low unemployment rates, blah, 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 blah. It wasn't really a good article, but I guess it kind of was. Let's see. It says it's causing chaos, likely unaffordable for many companies. Wow, I never thought about that. Like how this new law about visas. Mm-mm. That's that's something though. It's saying in this title article. Oh, this by the same publisher, American Immigration Council. $100,000 H-1B fee causes chaos, likely unaffordable for many companies. Wow. Because I didn't think about how I was just thinking about the actual people. Like, I didn't think about people whole businesses like that. Of course, that would affect that. Like, wow, that is crazy. I guess, because, what? So, Oh, they said the people that already have visas, this does not affect. Let me state that again for the record. The people who already have visa, who already have legal status, who happen to already have legal status before this went into effect, those persons, the new visa does not affect. So it really is groundbreaking history making stuff right here. Mm-hmm. I wonder, is this just like every time you travel, or I think it's going to be every time you do a tourist trip over here, and they're just going to be more strict about, it looks like the law of just, mm, and it had to get down to this. People are panicking, talking about, oh, the food stamps are going to be cut off in November. That would be a crazy time for it to happen. I said, I hope they weren't looking for like certain people reactions to that, because if you really think about it, some people, they have been really making ends meet for a long time. Like, why are you looking for reactions of how they gonna bend this way or turn that way due to changes? Just make the changes, and it's like you're confident in them. Now, some people just saying cut. It's not cut, guys, but they are, even with that, they're gonna have certain stricter regulations and qualifications for people to be able to stay on this stuff. See, people, I think they just kind of like miseducated a little bit. This is what's happening. They're not just pulling the rug from up under everybody. Some people, though, they've changed the requirements, and pretty much just more things you have to do. Like in some states, they had been already started requiring drug tests for SNAP, for food stamps. But I don't know. I'm like, where have people been? Some of this stuff been going on. What are you looking for reactions? Like, yeah, how's this person going to take this or take that? Like I said, it would be a crazy time for it to have. It would be Thanksgiving for everybody. I mean, and my opinion, they was like, oh, tell people about community food banks. Yeah, that's a place that has always had food. But if you have whole communities at a time, you know what I see happening? They're gonna have to regulate those type of places if stuff get too bad out here. Like, before this type of stuff was going on, I'm one of the people in the world, I've witnessed whole brawls and stuff, and like at events and stuff where people was just out there trying to help people. I mean, it happens sometimes. You can't be so much of a saint that you don't understand the things that happen in the world. I don't care who you are. Why would I sit there and judge y'all because y'all brawling? You might have told them people that y'all are childish, bro. We all grown out here. We're all grown. Everybody finna get blessed. Like, why are y'all, because are people ready for that? It is a reality, People are kind of scared. I don't know what we're gonna do. No, why are y'all thinking like that? Well, the ones of us that you've been making it through stuff. Weather disasters, there are still people living today that survived Hurricane Katrina. This is you will make it TV. Where's people's hope sometimes? And if I let people's lack of hope cling on to me too long, then I lack hope. And I don't think I like that. I don't like it that way. You know what I'm saying? So I have to keep hope for sure. It's for yourself first. You know what I'm saying? We focus and tune in too much on what society is talking about anyway. That's why people can't see what God is doing. Sometimes what God is doing is right in our face too. It make you feel bad if you love God like people say they do. But I really do love God, and sometimes He can be right there. Are you so tuned in to society that like that's a hurtful feeling? Like, man, I couldn't see what you was doing. Like, what? How distracted are we in the world? And He do see our hearts that care about that, even if we know. We was just talking about that. What I was reading, a person that knows how to take accountability for their own ignorance, they become a powerful person, because a wise person knows they know nothing at all. Now, now they're taking more accountability for ignorance. It's just like, what can you do with that? We all gonna be, and it's just, the more you can be ignorant about, of course, the better. But they do try to put certain smarts in certain categories, like street smart, book smart, science smart, relationship smart. Like, it's so crazy out here. Like, so you saying a person should just be 100% balanced with all these smarts? And if you is training a person to be like that in the world, get ready now. Watch out. You can't put all the smarts and I don't believe nobody just possess them all, but you can be ever growing and learning, like the quote said, and know that a wise man knows nothing at all? Do they not believe? What was his name? Socrates? Whatever his name was. It's a Greek philosopher. I don't believe in all the Greek stuff all the time, but guess what? That quote right there, that's a real quote. Like, what made that man think of that? Because it's very true. They'd be like, what's a person's secret? The whole time you know that. That's all. That a wise man knows nothing at all. A wise man might even look. It's just stupid. Like how deep it goes. Wise never meant like you look perfect. You look deep. Wise is just by itself. That's not even probably something that shows physically. Like wise, that's an attribute that one man of God they said prayed for. He could have prayed for a lot of different gifts. It's kind of like having a genie or something. God, what do you want? This man said wisdom. Like that is powerful, but at the same time, the other philosopher said a wise man knows that he knows nothing at all. hmm People really don't like if you like live your life based off that quote. Because people try to do that, just remind you every day where you forgetting something, where you lacking, where you, and it's like, wait a minute. A wise man knows though. It starts with those three words. A wise man knows. Oh, that's four words. A wise man knows. What do they know? They know already that they know nothing. They know nothing at all. And all they knowing, that's all you need to know. It's the people that try to know everything at the same time that drive themselves crazy. If you don't believe me already, just the song it said, don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch, watch, watch. No, for real though. Cause maybe we weren't like designed to just it wouldn't be a purpose in all of us ever the need for unity or oneness that everybody be talking about. Uh, I said it. Don't believe me, just watch. You go more crazy trying to process and know everything. Like that probably ain't even our place as human beings. You can watch a million news stations a day. You still ain't gonna know everything. You might be more knowledgeable than the next man, but a wise man knows that he knows nothing at all. No matter how much you research and study a thing that makes you more knowledgeable than another person who hasn't, yes, but it does not. That's all. More of us becoming humilitized and humble to remember that. We thinking because you got like I never say, oh, I'm so expertise in something. Nobody can tell me nothing. Maybe there's a few things in life like that, but that wouldn't be wise to come to that conclusion when you know that God can use anything and anybody. I already knew that. Maybe you already knew that, and it's just fun to you to see people find it out. But God can use anything, anybody, any situation, any date, any time. You notice they say he's an on time God. It don't mean he's not God when he hasn't performed yet. It's just that it's just deep. It's just deep to me. Like he can I saw that already. He can use things, people, or maybe your faith was like that. You know what I mean? Like you had already your faith just doesn't get like that either. I see how they say testing produces our faith and stuff like that now. But because it had to be certain experiences, like just like you learn to trust somebody, it could be like that with your life. Like you just trust your life more. Like living on the deep end all the time, do you trust life? Playing and kissing death all the time, do you trust life? I always end up seemingly going way off topic. Let me warm my coffee up real quick, y'all. Always seemingly get off topic, but I just came to say in a nutshell that I do encourage everybody to remain informed. It's deeper than the news, you know. Just look at the world today, you know. Why wouldn't you want to pay attention to changes that are happening with travel? It might cost a whole $100,000 to get certain visas now, like to come over here, and $250 convenience fee for anybody that wants to. Well, when it comes to tourism, it's going to be called an integrity fee. They could say, "Oh, that's just 250. That ain't nothing. That's crazy." Every time you tour over here, there's like tariffs and tax changes and all kind of stuff going on right now. Who are you to say $250 ain't much money to pay extra for travel? At least it'll make people more considerate. People are saying they think it's gonna go away. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think tourism, as long as tourism exists and people are allowed and there's no travel bans, I think tourism is gonna be around. The tour guides and stuff, they don't have to worry about, because if you lose more tourism, you lose more Airbnb business, right? Because I think a lot of people that travel, they use those now. They use no travel agents. It's just so many other people that kind of are attached to the industry of travel. Maybe people that even work on these cruise ships and stuff. Once again, you don't have people taking those trips, traveling like that, then you don't really have as much work. But a lot of people already been kind of feeling those effects, depending on the industries that they work in these days. But yeah, guys, he didn't sign a bill saying, he didn't sign an act saying that people can just strangers can adopt people kids. Maybe people drew that conclusion. What it says is, if this was pretty much implemented for those that were having parents deported. What they first were saying is, if they have family that they want to go stay with, they can. They can legally, pretty much temporary get custody. Yeah, they're just going to be able to temporarily get custody. Even with that, it's looking at that again. Like, are people going to be able to afford to do that? You see, because I'm sure at the end of the day, nobody want to see like families and kids and stuff be forced like into camps. But that's my reaction to that. You don't want to see them forced there, even if it's just for waiting periods until they're moved uh, to the next. Just And people just throw it on there. Well, they shouldn't have came over here. Like, no, there were visas and proper ways and stuff you have to do things. So it must have been pretty serious. If it's just going to these heights. But maybe we'll be back with a part two soon. Just remember to stay educated out there, guys. See what's going on. There was a lot of different changes that were rolled out probably through that new bill. What is it called? The big beautiful bill. You were able to see that. Remember to subscribe. Until next time.